Ciao, jewelry making friends. My name is Joeebalestrieri. Welcome to my work table. I'm so glad that you're here and that you chose my video today. I have been receiving a lot of messages from people that are completely new to making jewelry. So I thought that I would do a little unboxing from one of my favorite companies and kind of explain this particular monthly subscription box and bag. And I have a little bonus item to share at the end of the video that's in this lovely little box. So I have a small order here from one of my favorite companies. This is the website. It's called Bead Club. It is a members only wholesale website, and in order to shop the website you have to be a subscriber to either their bead box or they have a bead bag, and the prices are extremely reasonable. It is very, very affordable monthly subscription, and the bag and the box are packed with crystals, Czech glass. They have buttons on their website. They have findings. I mean, it is one of my favorite places to shop. And then once you are a subscriber, then you can go on this website and shop, and most everything on the site is $1. So one of the reasons that I really love this website is because for people that are doing artisan pieces, one-of-a-kind pieces, or people that are newer to jewelry and are just experimenting and making one piece, one design, and moving on to another, you really don't want to spend money on an entire strand with maybe 50 pieces of something because you won't use it. So I love this website, and I just have a small order here. It came like this, and just a sampling to share with you of some of the things that are on the website. So this is a Swarovski crystal item. Let me bring in one of my little dishes and I'll lay them out as I open them. But the website for the Bead Club is fabulous. I mean, you know, you can get just one of an item. So this is a 2-hole Swarovski crystal bead in a very beautiful, unusual cut. I just love it. I just ordered one. I don't even have a project in mind for it, but I do a lot of petite minimalist style jewelry, and I just love that. And then they have a lot of unusual shapes of glass beads and crystal beads, and I just love this. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, I just think that is stunning. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it yet, but look how beautiful that little piece of glass is. So I got one of those, and then they have things like this. This is a beautiful square faceted bead with a gold, is it gold or copper? Copper edge around it. And again, if you're into making your own pendants or charms or charm bracelets, these beautiful little individual beads are just stunning and not expensive. And as I said, well, if you're new or if you're not new to jewelry, it is so nice to build up a collection of pieces like that to work with when you start designing. And then they have a lot of Czech glass beads, and you can get small quantities and just try things out. So I bought these beautiful black Czech glass cat beads. The little hole goes from the top of their head to right under their chin, and it has a beautiful gold wash, so you can see all the detail in their little faces. And you know, I mean, I love being able to spend $1 for just 4 beads, because how many black cats, unless you're mass producing something, you know, how many black cats are you going to use in a design? I may make a pair of earrings and then do a bracelet where just one little bead is the cat's face. So I love the quantity, I love the price. I mean, and I think you'll be surprised if you've never been on their website before. I think you'll be surprised at how comprehensive it is and how many different things are available. And so one of the things I go to the website for is the Czech glass buttons that they have. So this is one that I just fell in love with. It is a little purple glass butterfly shank button, the little shank on the back. And you know, I have videos where I show how to turn these type of buttons with the shank into connectors, but they make beautiful closures on bracelets. And I recently did a video where I show how to do a button as the focal drop on a necklace. So I mean, I just thought that was so beautiful and sweet. And then they have things like this. They have carrier beads. And you know, these are really amazing to make pendants. If you're doing any kind of 2-strand bracelet or necklace and you need the 2 holes to separate your string material with, these are just wonderful. And they can be expensive if you buy long strands, and you know, it's just nice to have a small quantity. And then if you wanted more, you can always order more. So I just love those. I love carrier beads. I have an organizing bin that is all of my 2-hole beads, because if I'm doing a bead weaving project or anything with multi-strand, I know that my beads with the different holes are available there. And let's see, what else? I'm just randomly pulling things out of my bag, so you'll have to forgive me for jumping around. But they have metal findings, and I just went through the findings and ordered a few things. So I absolutely just love this little square connector. Isn't that beautiful? I just think that is so cool. And you know, in design, I love geometry, and I love open, like negative space. There's places to put your wire, to dangle beads, and I just got one because I don't have a design idea yet in mind, but I find that new beads, new shapes, new findings, they spark creativity. So it's really fun to get a small order, and like this is a small order, but it gives me some new shapes and some new things to work with. And because we're headed into spring and summer, I just got some of these beautiful little dragonfly charms. They can be charms, they can be pendants or earrings. You know, there's just so much you can do with a little bugs like that. And I also have a little section in my bead storage just for little bug critters. And then they have some amazingly sweet things. Look at this. It is called Dream Big. It's the little Dream Big charm, and there's the little mouse reading a story or reading a travel book or whatever. It's just like the cutest, sweetest thing. So if you've been on my channel at all, you know that one of the things I love to make, one of my go-to things to make, are bookmarkers. So when I saw this beautiful little charm, it just made me smile, and I just think he is adorable. So, you know, that's just to show you some of the diversity that the Dollar Bead Club offers. Now, you may have seen a couple of these beads if you've watched my recent videos, because this was in our Dollar Bead Box monthly subscription box, which is very affordable, very reasonable. And I loved these Czech glass fluted beads, and I loved these table cut Czech glass flowers, and with that little, look at the shine in the middle. So I used all of mine, and so I went onto the website and just ordered more of the things that I love. So, you know, in a few months when I want to make something else, I have more of those beads. You know, if I love something, I will go and get more on the website, which is, you know, another wonderful thing about getting the Dollar Bead bag or the Dollar Bead box is you get, like we did get a whole strand in the box this past month. And I can't remember how many, I can't remember if we got 2 or 4 of the little flowers, but if you loved something that was in their little sampling, and it is curated so the things go together, but if you really loved something, you can go on the website because you're a member and buy more for not, you know, for very inexpensive price. And then one of the things that I regularly buy, pretty much any time that I place an order with any company, I will go see what they have available in leaf beads and also flower beads, because I work with them a lot. And I have a bin in my storage that is all leaves, and I have a bin that is all flowers. And when I am designing, I know exactly where those things are, and it's a supply that I use up a lot. So I just love this little pink and white swirl bellflower. And look at the beautiful neutral color on these leaves. And it has a copper wash, which I love copper. And coincidentally, a couple of the subscription boxes that I get, including Bead, had copper findings and copper washes. So I just love that, and I readily mix copper and gold. I'm actually wearing a gold bracelet, and I know there's not a lot of copper there, but the copper and gold, like when something has a gold wash or a copper wash, they look great together. So those are two just very warm colors that I really, really love. And then you will find that they have stunning crystals. So I just picked up a couple of colors of crystals, and I mean, they're just very good quality. This one has that little AB finish on the faceting, so I don't know, sometimes I'm never sure if the camera is showing you the beauty that I'm seeing in person. But this is a little tiny, like 2mm bead or 3mm, but look at how stunning that is. So sometimes I do small bead weaving projects, but I also love these as spacers. They just add so much beauty to pretty much any design. And as I said, I love getting new beads, new shapes, new findings, because it sparks creativity. Oh, and more leaves. I have used so many of these leaves over the years, I cannot tell you. And I hope that the Czech glass companies never stop making this leaf. It is so perfect. It's clear. It has a little gold wash on it, so you can see the design, the embossing of the leaf, and it's very small, so it works really well if you want to just add a jump ring and dangle it from a bird's nest, or make a little dangle at the end of a extender chain or a toggle. So I constantly replenish this little leaf whenever I see it on anyone's website. I love that. And then they also have pearls. So I have an organizer for pearls because, again, they're so classic, but in bead weaving, you need pearls for so many of the beaded beads that I make, and they're just so classic. And pearls are a big 2024 jewelry fashion trend. And so just to show you, they have the tiny little millimeter up to a little bit larger, just to give you an example of what is available on this website for $1. So I just love adding extra pearls to my stash because that's something else that I use a lot. And then they have this beautiful silk cord on the website, and I can't remember if it was by the foot or I can't remember, but they had a few colors, and I just love this color. This is just a little bit of a boho look to finish off anything, really. It can be a bracelet or a necklace, or even if in the boho style bookmarkers. But it's just, interesting that they have a little bit of stringing material like this, not a 50-yard spool, because again, I look at this and think I might do a project or two and then move on to something else. So then I'm not stuck with a huge quantity and my money tied up in that when I just wanted a little sampling to make something. So I just love that about this website. And then look at the gorgeous 2-hole beads. Aren't they cool? Just the most unusual shapes. And as I said, getting new shapes that I don't already have in my stash, it makes me think outside the box, and it makes me come up with beautiful designs. So again, that little strand for $1 of these stunning gold 2-hole beads. It's just so thrilling. And look at these beautiful little pink drops. Again, I look at these and I think not only earrings, but dangles, charm bracelets, the little finishing touch on the end of an extender chain. Look how gorgeous they are. Each one has I I see like different little swirls and different movement in each one of the beads. Some have a little, like that one has a little bit more of a white swirl, and another one is a little bit more subtle. So they are just beautiful. You know, like right off the top of my head, I think, oh, a ball head pin through those and make a huge cluster would just be great. More Czech glass beads. Look at this. They are so sweet. Again, I guess I have spring and summer on my mind because of my projects that I've been making lately, but look at the little table cut dragonfly beads, and look how cool they are, with the bead being one color and the dragonfly being washed in a turquoise. So that is just a standout. And again, for $1 you get 2 of them, so you could do earrings, you could do a dangle, you can do a project, one for you and one for a friend or a sister. I just love those. Those are just wonderful. But you know, again, that's something I don't think I would want like a 20-piece strand of those, because I don't mass produce my jewelry. I make artisan, one-of-a-kind pieces, so this website is wonderful for me for that. And a little bit more. Oh, if you've been around my channel at all, you know that I love elongated bicone beads and I love hearts. I actually have a separate organizer for my heart beads, and we had these in this month's box from the Dollar Bead box, but I used mine and I absolutely love this heart bead. It's like, I think the Czech glass name for it is a folk heart, but it has this wash over the bead, and it just has this glistening shimmer that really shows off the embossing of the flower. And then look at this gorgeous heart. It is so stunning. It has different colors around the edge, and it has like a gold starburst in the middle. I just love it. And aren't these cool? Look at these beads. I love that color, but anything that is a little bit unusual shape, and for me, not too chunky. I mean, I do occasionally use a really large bead in a design, but in general, I like to make less chunky jewelry. So like, look at that deliciousness in my hand. I mean, again, this website always makes me so happy to get a little sampling like that. And speaking of hearts, look at this one. This one is gorgeous. Look at this heart. It is covered in little stars. Isn't that gorgeous? So that would make a fabulous focal point. I'm a big fan of Y necklaces, and oftentimes I will look for like a statement bead for the intersection of the necklace. So where the Y comes in this way and then my drops come down, and that would just be perfection. Also, that is a great size for a focal bead on a bracelet. So I just absolutely love that. I actually love everything that I got. And I'm always adding little flowers, a few more little flowers that I'm always adding flowers to my stash of flowers because I use them quite often. But look at the finish. Like, again, I hope that the camera is recording what I am seeing, but there's like an AB, which is for new people, Aurora Borealis wash or finish that they do on top of the glass. And so you get this shimmer and this, like, it catches the light in certain ways that it turns, and I just love that. I apologize if you're hearing a little small bell. It is not one of your devices, or it is, I've silenced my notifications, but it's coming through on my iPad because I had it here to show you the website. So please disregard that little bell. It's not any of your own devices pinging, it's me. I had another button in here. This is the coolest little button, and this is what I mean about the special things that are on the Dollar Bead Club website. This is a tiny lavender domino check glass button with a little tiny shank. Look at the detail even on the back. And the little dominoes are highlighted in gold, the little domino shape and the little numbers on the domino. I mean, that is the most adorable button I think I've ever seen. I just love it. And so I'm adding that. I've actually been collecting buttons since I was a little girl. I have some from the Victorian era. I have some metal ones, some glass, pressed glass ones that are over 100 years old, and I just love them. And a lot of times I will reach for these for when I'm making a special piece for myself, like for a bracelet closure. And if I ever take the bracelet apart and harvest the beads, I rescue my button and put it right back in my stash. And so that's probably going to go on something that I make for myself, but I just thought that was beautiful. Like I said, this is a great resource for jewelry people. And I just have a couple more things. I love these. I think these are called turbine beads. Honestly, I can't quite remember, but these are quite complicated to cut, to do the cuts and the facets in them, if you can look at the unusual shape. And so if you were to get a whole strand of these, it would be cost prohibitive because they are quite expensive. But I just love having two of them to play with, either for earrings or to incorporate with some other Czech glass pieces in a bracelet. So I just picked up a couple of those for my stash, and I mean, they are just mesmerizing. There is detail no matter which way that little bead lands. They are absolutely gorgeous. And let's see, I have one more thing from my order, another flower. And again, just to share with you the diversity and the options. Look at this beautiful little Czech glass flower. That is so sweet. And again, if you're doing anything with like a cluster or anything that you need, like flowers and leaves, this is a beautiful little flower. There's just so much detail on these beads. Like I just noticed the little embossing even on the back of these flower beads. Just gorgeous. So that is one of my resources. And I have a new one. It's not new to the world, but it's new to me. That will be coming. Hopefully my order will come in a week, and it's kind of going to be a surprise. I am so excited. When I was placing my order with this company, I looked at my cart and I had like almost $300 worth of beads in the cart because the website was so luscious. So that's going to be coming soon. I actually did not spend that much money. I had to take some things out, but that's how exciting the website was for me. But I feel like, you know, since I have been hearing from so many of you that you're brand new to jewelry making, but even if we're not new to jewelry making, our sources are really important because we can have all the skill in the world, but if you don't have beads to work with, you're not going to be able to make much. So I try to always share sources that I love for beads and supplies. And so I hope that this was useful for some of you. And by the way, in the description box below, I will put my code and a link to the Dollar Bead Club because I have an affiliate with Dollar Bead, and they offer my viewers and subscribers a discount on their first box or bag. So like the Dollar Bead bag is a bag of strands that are curated, and it's only $8 a month. So, you know, if you're interested, I'll put my code in the description box below. And then again, this is a site that you have to subscribe to their monthly box or bag in order to be able to shop for these prices and, you know, shop their fabulous website. So I, you know, really was thinking that newer people might not know the arrangement with some of these companies. So again, I hope that is helpful. And then in this little box, if you have been on my channel at all, you know that I really love to support artisans, and especially those who make handmade beads. Lamp work is my favorite. I love ceramics. I love porcelain. And so this is an order from an Etsy shop. And look how gorgeous this little package came. It is only a couple of beads that I ordered because, you know, they're more expensive than the mass-produced manufactured glass beads and things, but look at this beautiful little strand of beads. This is from a company called Gaia, and she has an Etsy shop. There's the information and the phone number. I did order these from Etsy, and her pieces are handmade, and so I got these 2 rose heart beads that she hand makes. They're ceramic beads, and then she put a little extra bead on the strand for me. And you know, I've been making a lot of spring bracelets with flowers and hearts and birds, and I just really love to support artisans. And you know, they're small businesses, they work hard, they not only make what they make, but then they have to market themselves and sell what they make. So I just thought I would share that with you whenever I find a special person that I love what they make. I'll try to share that with you. So I hope that this little unboxing was informative and that maybe you learned something. You know, sometimes even if you're not in need of beads, sometimes watching unboxings is just good, just to learn the names of beads, you know, different shapes and things. So I don't know if there was anything really special in this order, but like, you know, for instance, I can remember when I did not know what a table cut Czech glass bead was. So this is a table cut flower where you see the completely flat side on the front of this bead. So, you know, when you watch unboxings, kind of listen for those little descriptions as well. And then when you're searching for something, you have the right words to type into the search bar. So again, for newer people, I hope that is a helpful bit of information. Thank you so much for watching today. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you do that. It would a lovely way to support an artisan's work. And I do unboxings, I do design, I do sketches. I share many, many, many years of experience in jewelry on my channel. So it would be lovely for you to consider doing that, and tap the bell notification. It's the little bell under the video so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And I also have been asking my community to email me, and I will put my email in the description box below. If you have little furry faced supervisors and helpers around your jewelry tables, the community would love to see them. So if you can send me a picture, that would be wonderful. I've been trying to collect them and put them at the end of my videos here and there. So that's all of my housekeeping. I thank you for watching today. I hope everybody's safe and well and having fun on their beading mats. Ciao, jewelry making friends.